hello everyone. I'm Kelsey McGuire. I'm the CGO of Shardeum. It's an auto-scaling blockchain. And I'm here with Charles and Derek. So could you guys give a quick intro? Yeah, GM, or GG afternoon, about who you are and what your project does?
Sure. I'm Charles Guillemet. I'm CTO at Ledger. I think everyone knows Ledger, right? Who owns a Ledger in the room? Okay, so everyone knows Ledger. My background is cryptography and security, and I joined Ledger in 2017. I discovered Bitcoin in 2011. A friend of mine was talking about Bitcoin like every day, so at some point I decided to have a look at it. And I studied the cryptography, the decentralized consensus, all the complex things. And I remember I told him, your thing is amazing, it's really interesting, but I don't see the use case, it's not useful. So when I joined Ledger in 2017, he made fun of me, asking me if I finally understood. And I think I got it. And what I really like in Bitcoin and in blockchain technology is the permissionless aspect. And this is why I think self-custody is important. This is what we are doing at Ledger, self-custody with security.
Awesome. Hey folks, GM again. I'm Derek, I'm the CTO at WalletConnect. And yeah, maybe question for you in the room. Who thinks that crypto UX currently is really awesome?
No hands?
Who of you runs their own full node? Right on, Charles. Yeah, so basically, I'm a Web 2 bro. I did some open source in crypto before I joined WalletConnect roughly 2 years ago. And I joined because I saw the opportunity that we can actually build decent UX and through that seize the prophecies of blockchain. And I think we are sort of at the precipice of creating SDKs and tools where application developers can come in and actually build delightful applications and bring a couple of users. And yeah, so the question is, can we achieve that this year? And then when can we get to 1 billion daily active users? Is it going to be in 2030 or maybe in 2026? So yeah, I think right now is a really exciting time.
Awesome. Thanks for the intros, guys. So we've seen a lot more focus recently on UX in Web3, thank goodness, which is really exciting. So I'd love to hear from you guys about some of the most interesting, exciting things you've seen recently and why they're happening now.
In terms of UX, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with Derek. The UX for blockchain is quite terrible. We can see that all of this has been made by geek for geeks, and yeah. This is the case. And if we want to consider a wide mass adoption and so on, we need to fix this UX problem because I don't expect my mother to understand what is zero-knowledge proof or how cryptography works or how bridges work, and that she needs to take her Ethereum to bridge them on a layer 2 or another. So this is really something that we need to think about. Make sure that the user interface and the user experience in general is really simpler, abstract all of this complexity. I'm very excited by the new cycle that is about to start. During the last cycle, we really had a scalability issue with blockchains. There was not so much dApps, but even a very simple dApp such as OpenSea, it's a simple dApp. When it went live, it simply broke Ethereum just because Ethereum doesn't scale. And since then, we built the infrastructure, we built the L2 that allows this scalability, and now we have this infra. We are looking forward to seeing what dApps we will build on top of this infrastructure, but the UX component will be really key. Again, we can't expect people to understand the underlying technology, the fact that they need to bridge assets and so on. All of this should be abstracted to users, I think.
Yeah, and over the years, even when people think the technology is really cool and exciting, I've just not met very many people who will stand to be inconvenienced even one extra step when it comes to interacting with any new system or application. But Derek, would love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Like, why are some of these advancements happening now? Is there a particular one, whether it's abstraction or something else that you think is really interesting right now?
Yeah, thanks, Kelsey. Yeah, I think less clicks is more, obviously, and convenience always wins. So a couple of exciting things that happened recently, everybody here in the room knows that, but to maybe reiterate. First thing is, scaling actually is a UX thing, so Shardeum. So scaling means transaction fees and bandwidth. So to me, that's a UX problem. Like as an end user, I want cheap transaction fees. So I'll claim that we have a solution for that. So that problem is solved. So next is, I don't wanna know what gas is. Well, actually through scaling, we made some problems worse. So as an end user, you need to learn what gas is. And now you need to have gas token. And now you need to have gas token on not just Ethereum, but on 40 different L2s. So actually we made the problem worse. But now, obviously with ERC 437, which Quick Shill was launched at the Ethereum Foundation launched it at the WalletConnect, WalletCon conference exactly 1 year ago here in Denver. So with that, the end user doesn't have to learn what gas is anymore. And the end user also doesn't have to have gas token anymore. So obviously we're seeing the uptick there now with EIP 3074, that also for old accounts, for externally owned accounts, like for basically existing users, you can now also sponsor transactions. I think Polygon is the first chain that's going to launch that. A bunch of other L2s are going to do it, maybe L1 in next year with the next fork that we expect. And so then the developer's story is going to be good, because as a dApp, as Uniswap, as all the cool apps that maybe some of you are building, I can sponsor transactions for 100% of users. Like as an app, I want to support 100% of users, and now I can sponsor gas for 100% of users. And also with 3074 and 4337, I can batch 100% of transactions. So in your game, if you want to change 30 Sims token for, I don't know, a new avatar, and then you can now do that in one transactions, or in crypto Tinder, if you, yeah, I think you get the point. So that's another thing maybe. Another thing is mobile first. So there's now mobile first SDKs that WalletConnect provides, like in all programming languages. So we're seeing like this uptick. Also, there's 1 year ago, if you wanted to build a consumer app and you wanted to raise money, the VC will tell you you're low IQ. And now there's a bunch of VCs out there that will probably give you money. So that's also exciting. And yeah, last thing I'll say is obviously there's now an onboarding path for end users. Like I actually recently using Peanut.to, which is a P2P payments app that I really like. I used to work at Venmo, so I know the P2P payment space. And so I sent my mom some crypto. She's never used crypto before. She was able to claim that onto her email wallet. And I asked her to send it to my dad, and she was actually able to do that. And like she didn't even know it was crypto, so I think that's cool. Yeah, and actually one more really last thing. And Charles has a blog post on that. What's also exciting right now, folks have to have so much anxiety around how do I store my keys. Like even though I can have a device for self-custody, I actually don't want to bother about that. I want to maybe like on-ramp with email, and then later I decide, hey, dang, I have like serious money on this thing now. So, but I want to use this day to day. So like obviously with recovery things, Safe has great stuff there. So yeah, really many exciting things. The challenge is to like now plug everything together, build the right standards, and we really don't have a year to wait. It really has to happen now. And like Charles and I were doing this hack week together shortly. And yeah, a lot of industry partners who can pull strings will be there. So I hope we'll get it through. So yeah, this was a long monologue.
You're teasing a lot. So yes, I think the idea around account abstraction is very, very powerful. The EOA, it was a good idea. It's very simple. You just generate your pair of key, and then you have an account. We inherit this from Bitcoin, and this is very powerful. But as soon as you want to implement complex logic around this, it's simply not possible. The blockchain do not provide you the tools to do that. And that's why account abstraction is an interesting idea, because you can implement as complex logic as you want, and with that you can implement like easy onboarding, where the user don't even know that there was a blockchain behind. So I think for an onboarding new user, it's an interesting idea. The combination between passkeys and account abstraction is a good idea, and plenty of people have implemented stuff around that. And by the way, at Ledger we have built a verification of the P256 curve, the one that is used by passkeys, and our implementation is really good in terms of fees. So it's a public good, and plenty of implementation of account abstraction are using it. And so with this concept, you can really ease the experience for the user using their abstracted account. Nonetheless, as soon as you need to have more security, you can understand very quickly that a passkey is in your phone to secure your high-value item is probably not sufficient. And with account abstraction, you can imagine some experience where you can define that you can spend up to 100 USD per day with your phone, and if you want to spend more, probably you will need to use your Ledger device. And if you want to spend this very valuable for you NFT, same, you will use your Ledger device. This is something that you can do with account abstraction. Also, for the recovery part, you can implement really interesting experiences. There is also something I'd like to highlight. Sometimes people say, oh, now there is account abstraction, there is no need for seed anymore. We have solved the problem of secret. I think it's really bad marketing, because with account abstraction, you still need to authenticate yourself. Obviously, you don't need to do EOA type of signature, but at the end, you will need to prove that you are yourself, and you must not lose those credentials. So this is something that needs to be taken into account. And it does not solve the security problem directly, because sometimes this is some bad marketing I heard about account abstraction.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think we have a ways to go when it comes to sometimes setting the right types of expectations when it comes to these exciting new advancements, as well as just really where people can access and learn about the technology in a more productive way. I think that another one for you, Derek, to start with is, do you think Web 2 feature parity is enough, or is this just a little piece of the puzzle as we're moving forward with this?
Yeah, my naive romantic thing is we're gonna get like better experiences than with Web 2.
That would be ideal.
But currently we're still far away from Web 2 experiences. There's no way. Currently all signing experiences, all crypto experiences are synchronous, which means like I actually click a button on my ledger to sign, and that's not how payments works in the internet. Like there's subscription payments, and I don't, in Web 2 when I use a game, I don't always have to click a button in order to do something. Maybe it's like asynchronous, and so that's why I'm really excited about what the community is now calling permissions. And so permissions is going to allow you better synchronous signing experiences with less anxiety, where you can, similar to what Charles said, say, okay, this app can only spend up to $100, and then you can use that gated with a passkey. It's important to do this via permissions, because there you can do it without gas and without drama, and you can lose the, I'm German, so I don't like drama, and you can do it without gas. And now you can also do these async experiences, so you can say, okay, I allow this newspaper to charge me $30 every 30 days. So that's important for feature parity. And then what's beyond feature parity, of course, is I can are like some of these identity use cases, for instance. Like obviously, for me, it was very rough back in the day. I had all my reputation on MySpace, and then MySpace wasn't cool anymore. And I had to bootstrap my reputation somewhere else. And so that's not great user experience. Also, all the creators that are being censored on Instagram and all this kind of stuff. So I think we should have better experiences for them. So to me, it's obvious. We just need to fix the UX so that the builders can actually come, and such that the creators will use the platforms where they have this freedom and whatnot.
Yeah, I think users always take the path of less friction, and we can try to explain why blockchain technology is great, why self-sovereignty is important, and so on. But I think for onboarding users, first the experience will be key. And then when we onboard users with a very great experience, at least at parity with Web 2, then we can explain why self-custody, self-sovereignty is something that matters. But I don't think we will create this mass adoption with these ideas of self-sovereignty and permissionless.
Yeah, so we are making progress. At least it's more of a focus now, like we touched on. And we talked about this a little bit already, but we're still facing some really key challenges here. When it comes to user experience, and from my perspective also, there's a big reputational challenge when it comes to this new technology. I think when people can use it sort of seamlessly in the background, it's fine because they don't really realize what's happening. But I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a lot of TV shows and movies right now where it's like Web3 blockchain is almost the bad guy and the scary thing. So from your perspectives on the UX side of things, are there any other really key challenges that you have in mind that we're facing as we think about onboarding this next big group of users outside of that reputational challenge that we face as well?
So I can talk about what we are doing at Ledger around this UX problem. So security is really the promise of Ledger, and then from this never compromise with security, then we are trying to improve UX, and there are a few points that really needs to be improved. One of them is the fact that when you sign something, you need to understand what you sign. Signing hexadecimal is not acceptable from a security standpoint first, but also for the user. When my mother sees an hexadecimal address on the Ledger device, she thinks there is an error. She thinks there is something wrong. So we need to fix all of this. No hexadecimal. The user needs to be able to understand what he is doing. Also, we have worked on creating some recovery process. You probably have heard about this. It created some drama in the ecosystem, but at the end, what we want to do is really to improve UX. Again, when I think about my mother, and I explain her what are these 24 words, she needs to write them down on a piece of paper. She needs to hide this piece of paper. No one must have access to them. If ever she loses it and she loses her device, her funds are gone. So it's
stressful.
Yeah, it's stressful. So this is really for this kind of user that we wanted to create this product that is called Ledger Recover. And we can see that there is some resistance in the ecosystem about this kind of feature. So we also need to figure about that and to think that the mass adoption will be possible if we think for the newcomers that are not geeks like us, and this is the point of focus that we have in mind. Also, we are working on new devices with a wider screen, with a touch screen, and so on. So again, to improve the UX while never compromising with security.
Oh, thanks for that. And this one's for Derek. So how have you evolved the positioning of WalletConnect? And are you thinking of a wallet as a service model, or where are you guys heading with that?
Yeah, thank you. We we have like right now, we are the most popular app SDK out there. And our app SDK has an onboarding wallet, like a wallet as a service, email type wallet, so that's launched. Please go check it out. Let me know if it's nice. It also has a fee-less on-ramp, so 0% fees to on-ramp into USDC with that thing. So that's cool. And good UX.
The important thing.
And yeah, it's the same OX address on all apps, so no fragmentation. And also we have a graduation flow. We're the only ones who do that. So currently that's a private key export. Soon it's going to be a signer rotation. So we want to graduate the user from no coiner into coiner, basically gradual transition. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And I think soon there's like brain off experiences that have Web 2-like feature parity or better.
Yeah, that is really exciting. And I want to get back into Ledger a little bit more now too. Like, how do you see, you touched on it a little bit, but how do you see hardware wallets fitting into this broader mass adoption push?
So again, when you own assets, when you own crypto, like the security part is something really important. When you think about onboarding newcomers with perks on a website, that has not a lot of value. Probably you don't need a ledger to do that. Like simply having your keys in the browser with an abstracted wallet that you don't even know there is a wallet, it's completely okay. But as soon as you need to protect your value, then hardware wallets become important. And what we are trying to do is to remove as much as we can the friction you have coming from the fact that you have another device. So this is directly some friction. So we want to remove this friction. So we are improving the experience that we have on our current devices, and we are thinking about new experiences in the future where something like your phone and something like the devices that we sell could be combined in the same devices. I don't announce anything. I'm just talking about the type of research that we are doing these days, because putting your keys in your phone doesn't work from a security standpoint. But if we think about that, and if we are trying to improve the security level of something like your phone, we could consider experiences where you have best of both worlds, the very good experience that you can have with your smartphone, and the level of security from Ledger.
I want to add some thoughts. So I think right now, hardware wallets can cover some user stories, but it's pretty limited. Like a user story might be, okay, I have this kind of Bitcoin stuff and I want to store it somewhere. But it doesn't solve for use cases for like, okay, I have like some serious NFTs or whatever. But I actually want to disclose that I have them. I want to show on Crypto Tinder that I have like the coolest, assuming there's women in crypto. Until then, I think Crypto Tinder is a bit difficult. So I can disclose my reputation there. And right now there's no good user story for doing that, because I don't want to connect my ledger to like this fun app, because I might get scammed. And also maybe this wallet, I'm just using it, and like now I'm adding more funds to it, so it sort of turns into my serious money wallet, and I have different requirements. So I think with the permissions, which is now a thing, that solves the first problem of, hey, I have all this reputation, I want to show it in every app, and I don't want to have anxiety that I'm going to get scammed. So permissions is going to solve that. And then I think the smart accounts should be like a massive demand push for Ledger, because now I can do stories like, okay, I have this account, if up to $1,000 I use my passkey, and that's what Charles mentioned earlier, up to $1,000 passkey, 20,000.
I said 100.
$50,000, my mom, I need an extra signature for my mom, multi-sig. $150, I need my mom and my ledger, and then when we're talking serious money, then maybe the bank also needs to sign or something. So this should be, yeah, there's so many more user stories coming now where I really want to have a ledger. So yeah, should be exciting times for Ledger.
Definitely.
Yeah, it sounds like super exciting times. As far as the ability to impress ladies with NFTs, still to be determined, but I think that that's about it for our time, guys. But could you all
Thanks,
just
Kelsey.
like close out and let people know where they can find you? Any sort of final call to action before we're off the stage?
You can find me on Twitter. You can look for my name, and there are around 20 impersonators. I'm one of them.
You're in there somewhere.
And in terms of call to action, we are working on the clear signing initiatives in order to make sure that every single interaction that you will do on your device with Ethereum first, at least, you will be able to clear sign them. So no hash, no input data anymore, like just something, an intent that you are about to, that you can understand what you are about to consent. And for that, we need the help of wallets to integrate our SDK and the metadata file. And we also need some help from dApps in order for us to curate this metadata file that allows the device to parse the transaction properly.
Great. And Derek?
Also want to know how I can follow you, Kelsey, but I'm CyberDRK on Twitter, and my ask for you is, yeah, go build awesome apps. Let us know if our SDKs are awesome or how they can be improved. And yeah, I forgot my last point, but yeah, thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, we can jump back to it. And I'm Kelsey. Go to shardeum.org to learn a little more there. I'm a big kind of just lurker on Twitter, but if you want to come check that out, it's at Hey McGuire. So thank you all so much. Do you remember? Are you good?
I don't.
Okay, cool. Well, come find him after and he might remember. But thank you all so much for joining us today. We'll see you around.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That was awesome.